Reddit, what's the most ultimate petty revenge you've seen or been a part of? Crossing at a busy downtown intersection, a very impatient driver waiting to make a turn honked at a lady pushing a stroller. She had the right of way. I slowed down, but the guy next to me straight up stopped in front of the car, then bent down to retie his shoelaces. That's not revenge, that's a lesson. I used to work at a pizzeria. There was this one customer that everyone hated. She was rude as hell, complained about everything, every single order she ever received. She found something to complain about. And she wasn't a normal customer. No, she would order essentially groceries from us by ordering disassembled sandwiches. For example, she'd order a chicken sandwich, but with all of the ingredients separate, and in particular amounts, with cutlery, butter, a side of grated cheese, 3 plates, oil, and vinegar on the side, medium rare toasted bread, whatever the heck that means, extra packets of ranch. You get the idea. But because it was all technically part of a sandwich, she didn't expect to be charged for any of the extras and would complain. She also refused to answer the door when delivery drivers got there and instead would leave the money in an envelope, exact change, no tip, under the doormat, and wanted the driver to leave the food on her doorstep. She also had weird specifications about where the driver could park. Never in her driveway, only on the street, even when it was raining or she'd complain. Also, she didn't want them to announce their arrival in any way. No knocking, no ringing the bell, no beeping their car horns. They needed to be silent or she'd complain. Freaking nightmare, this woman. And every time she complained, she'd try to weasel some free stuff out of us for next time. Because of freaking course she would. Anyway, one day she says she needs the driver to make change, and she wants him to just leave the change in the envelope and not take a tip because he gets paid already. So I tell my driver this, and he says, "Oh, I get paid, do I? No problem, I'll take care of it." He goes on the delivery and comes back pleased as punch. Doesn't say a word about how he took care of it. I get distracted, keep working. 10 minutes later I get a phone call. It's the crazy lady and she's furious because apparently my driver left her the correct change of $5.85 in the envelope like she asked, in pennies. Freaking genius. I had to put her on hold so I could laugh. I get back on the phone with her and I said, "Ma'am, I think you'll find that pennies are legal tender. There's nothing I can do." After explaining that I am, indeed, the manager and the highest authority present, she got fed up and hung up on me. That driver is still a freaking king to me. My dad had an old truck parked on the back of our property that some kept stealing small parts from. Cap, rotor, points, etc. We wired it to an electric fence power supply. One evening we heard a bunch of yelling and swearing and went back there, and the guy left us some free tools. My family used to own a farm that backed up to a high school. There was a thin tree line and a small fence at the edge of our property. One year some kids hopped the fence, really short chain link 1 maybe 2, 3 feet, and stole an engine out of the old dump truck. Another time some kids broke all the windows on the combine. A lot of kids liked to hang out in the woods back there and would constantly leave trash. One of my uncles finally fed up with this poop started going out there with a 12 gauge full of salt shot and would shoot at them. Now I didn't believe that last story for the longest time until I started hanging out with a guy who went to that HS. And he was telling me a story about how he and his friends would hang out in the woods behind the school to smoke and drink. Until one day some crazy old guy come out and started shooting at them, tagging my buddy in the ass with salt shot. I just looked at him dumbfoundedly, then started laughing my ass off. He said, "It's not funny, man. That stuff hurts." After I regained my composure I explained to him that that was my uncle and he probably deserved it for trashing the place and trespassing. I was dating this girl. Thought she was the one. So I gave her the keys to my apartment. I worked late for my job. I was just happy there was someone in my bed when I got home at 2 in the morning. Came home one night and she was awake. She confessed to using my apartment to cheat on me with 7 different people. So I packed her stuff up. She was still living with her mom anyways. So I lied to her and said I moved to Seattle. I moved to Hawaii instead 3 months. After being in Hawaii I get a phone call from her. I answer, and to my surprise she's called me from the Seattle airport. She flew out there to try and fix things between us. The dialogue goes as follows. Me, so you're in Seattle? Huh, yeah, weren't you listening? I came here to fix us. Me, oh, well that's bad. Huh, what's bad? Me, I'm in Hawaii. Then hung up the phone. Phone rings, I answer. Huh, you lied to me. Me, huh, how does it feel? I hang up again. I don't know if that's petty, but to me was a good revenge. My mom and dad. This happened when I was in my late 20s. My mom and I were in the car. My dad called and they started bickering with each other. My mom got irritated and hung up on him. He called her right back, and when she answered he hung up on her. Didn't even say a word, just waited for her to pick and hung up. It was so petty and hilarious to see my parents acting like children. I couldn't stop laughing. They've been married over 35 years. I still get tickled when I think about that. I saw an ad for a work from home type job. It didn't sound scammy and sounded sort of legit. So I asked for more info from the website. Enter your email thing. It was crap and was sending me spam several times a day. For whatever reason blocking it didn't work. I got annoyed one day and answered back, "Stop spamming me." The guy actually answered. He actually monitors that address. He told me to unsubscribe, which did nothing. After about another week of it, I came up with an idea. I took his email address he answered from and added it to his own list. Then signed it up for any other spam I could find. A few days later it stopped spamming me. Probably too late, but actually marking emails as spam actually works as well. If enough people do it, it starts lowering their rating from your email provider and more of their emails start ending up in user spam folder rather than directly in their main box. I used to handle my company's email, obviously non-spam, and it would infuriate me to no end that some of our metrics go down when someone marked our reset password email as spam. You wanted to reset your email, why did you mark it as spam? Delivered pizzas about a week for my best friend's shop. Warned me about a few customers, but one in particular was always rude to the drivers and never tipped. Lucky for me, I got to deliver his order of a single calzone, maybe $6 or $7 total, and he tried to pay with a $50 bill. All the menus in the website prominently said nothing over a $20 bill for deliveries, and he'd been their customer long enough to know that. But when I told him this, while explaining how I didn't have enough change, he got extremely rude and was loud about how it's not his fault and that drivers should always carry enough money on them. So I did what any person in that situation should do and told him not to worry about it and I'd pay for the order. For those few seconds he thought he'd won a free calzone by being a dick, until I pulled it out and started eating it as I walked back to my car. Of course he fed me the whole time I was walking, but damn if that wasn't the best tasting calzone ever. My little brother and his girlfriend came to stay at my house for the weekend, and the girlfriend was super self-centered and obnoxious. When they left, she forgot her clothes and toiletries because she left them sprawled all over my bathroom. About a week later, she and my brother moved into an apartment together. After he paid for the moving truck, deposit, and utilities, she cheated on him with her ex and kicked him out of the apartment. This left him broke, homeless, and heartbroken. In the days after the breakup, she kept calling and emailing him several times per day, demanding that he ask me to ship her clothes and toiletries back to her. I mean, it's really important. It's my North Face. My brother called and pleaded with me to ship them to her, so she would stop having a reason to contact him. Being the loving sister that I am, I gathered up the really important North Face sweatshirt, shorts, underwear, shampoo, conditioner, soap, and razor. I folded everything nicely. I then wrote a nice note apologizing for taking so long to mail them to her and let her know that I hope all is well. The note was written in permanent marker and the paper happened to be resting on the really important North Face when I wrote it. Unfortunately, the ink bled straight through the paper and onto the shirt. Also unfortunately, the shampoo, soap, and conditioner caps were not tightly secured on their bottles and the contents leaked out all over the clothes, further spreading the ink. The most unfortunate result, though, was that her razor didn't have any sort of protective cap or container and left little slashes all over the front of the really important North Face. She received the package, and my brother never heard from her again. TBH, I would say she got off lightly. I probably would put in the package. Sharing a holiday home with some friends and their 10-year-old son started to be a pain. Not helping around the house and crying if he didn't get his way. His parents decided to just let him sit and watch YouTube on his iPad instead of disciplining him. So I logged into the internet router and would use admin privileges to suspend his device from accessing the internet. As soon as he got up to ask his dad for help, I would reactivate the device. So it seemed as if nothing was wrong. I did this every day for 2 weeks. You beautiful bastard. Being the youngest brother, I would only get hand-me-downs. My older brother rubbed it in my face that he got a brand new pair of PF Flyers after Sandlot came out. Every day, I would stuff the toe of the shoes with tissue paper, adding a little more each day till he thought he outgrew them. Got slightly worn PF Flyers after about a month. Your brother must be pretty dumb. My roommate and her so loved doing elaborate jigsaw puzzles. After I found out she cancelled our lease, leaving me 1 week to find a new place to live, I threw away one piece of 2 different puzzles they were working on. Before you ask, she was able to do this because I was 17 and not able to legally sign a lease. Edit, I'm a she. Dad was on a boat, mom was, IDK where that crazy girl was at. Everything turned out cool. I'm married and I'm a mom to an awesome little girl. I don't know why the adults in my life let things go down like that. Maybe cause we live in a certain southern state that rhymes with Malabama. Edit, stupid phone. That was a dog move on her part.